on my Area 51 line. You're on the air. Hello.
Welcome to the Blondes and Booze Paranormal Podcast, where what you've known as reality will be shattered by the truth. Krista and Brandy will lift the veil from your eyes, revealing what has either been hidden or denied you for eons.
Hey, happy freaking Friday.
Happy freaking Friday.
That's about how we feel about it too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it has been just a week.
This has
I'm
been
glad
the
it's over.
week ever. I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's over. And you know what, though? I got to tell you, I don't know what the weather is down at your place, but it's freaking nice here.
It is finally nice here. I am very surprised.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It has been so hot, and then finally, we get a day that is halfway decent.
Right. I know.
And it's supposed to go through the weekend, so I am super excited.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that because I'm telling you what, this
Yeah.
heat about, like, it was awful. You couldn't even breathe in it.
No.
Yeah.
And
So-
I am, I finally get a chance to do stuff outside that I need to get done.
Right.
I'm like, whew, thank goodness.
Exactly. So anyway, we're gonna we got a show planned for you tonight, and it's just something we thought we'd talk about that we talk about often sometimes with the paranormal, and that's cemeteries. So we'll get on to that here in a few minutes. However, let's say hi to people, Brandy.
Okay, go say hi to people. I'll be right here. I'll be waving.
All right, Andrew, hello. Gary Spike Sr., hello. Moon at Noon, hey. Mickey G, good to see you. Val, good to see you. Let's see. Jason Finch, hey, what's going on, buddy? And Mr. G Rides, how are you doing? Let's see. I'm scrolling and scrolling. Tracy, good to see you. Wachita Okie, hello. How are you? JD Smooth, good to see you. Unreal Agent, Estate Agent 077, good to see you.
I like that show, Unreal Estate.
Yeah. I do too. Cobra.
I wish they would have canceled that. I liked it.
Cobra Silverhand, hello. Some new people here. Please subscribe to us. We definitely appreciate it. And I just refreshed, so I just lost everybody. So I apologize if I did not name you by name, but we appreciate you. Amy, she just came up. Hello.
Amy.
I see you. You just came on. So anyway, Kelly, you're on there too. Hello. Good to see you. But anyway, we appreciate everybody being here. Y'all know we got a conference getting ready to come on. And what? Next month? We can say that now.
Oh, I know.
It's freaking next month.
Next month.
Yes. Wow,
Ooh.
Amy's been a member for 17 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, can you believe it? It's coming up like that quick.
I know. It is just like, I can't wait for it to get here because not only is this going to be super, super fun. I mean, I'm off for a week. It's my vacation time.
Yeah, it is. I took those days off too, but I got my PTO, so and for them, I'm taking off. And I'm not going to think twice about it.
There you go.
I actually even took off the Monday and Tuesday after because I'm going to need to recuperate.
Well, there you go. See?
So Cobra Silverhand says, I want to take my kids to a paranormal Bigfoot conference. Well, I don't know where you're located at, Cobra. Our conference is in Richmond, Missouri. Welcome to come. We've got just about anybody and everybody coming as far as speakers and special guests. We've got a lot of people coming. And we look forward to meeting everybody. So
Exactly. So if you're looking for tickets, it's September 19th and 20th of September. And you can find that on Eventbrite.
Right.
Look under Crossing Realms Conference. It's got something there for everyone and all of your weirdness
Yep.
Curiosities and wanted to learn about. It'll all be there, anywhere from the Fae to Bigfoot to aliens to everything that you can think of.
Dogman.
Yeah, it's all there.
Literally, we have like, oh, thank you, Sparky. Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Sparky.
But we have everything from speakers from like Heather Mosier, Small Town Monsters. She'll be there. Martin Groves is coming. We've got Harley Owens as a special guest. I mean, I can't even name them all. We just have so many great people.
There is way too many to name. There is.
So anyway, on that note, I want to remind everybody to, Philip says, any motels you recommend. So I can tell you this, there is only one in Richmond. The next closest one is 8 miles away, and it is called the Lexi Inn. And that's in Lexington, Missouri. Brandy, you've stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad hotel. It's just a little mom and pop one. And so that would be the next closest one. And then that is reasonably priced. After that, we have the Elms. However, the Elms is going to cost you a couple $100 a night, and it's a haunted one. So anyway, it's up to you.
Exactly.
Amy, I could not agree with you more. Richmond will never be the same.
No.
So yeah, anyway, if you're, wanting to come, we'd love to meet you. We'd love to see you. And honestly, a lot of people that are in our chat, we have already met. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
And so we'd love to see you guys again. So
absolutely. We're looking forward to seeing just everybody and just, I think we just got to plan this stuff so we can just have a big get together. I think that's what
Thursday is.
Thursday. I think that every day is that. That's what every day is.
Actually, Brandy, think about it. Friday and Saturday, we have to work.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like we have to go to our daily grind job.
No, but it's still working and, all that kind of good stuff. So Thursday is our relaxed, chill night. That's going to be fun. So Friday is when we get serious.
Yes.
Yep. So, yeah. Anyway, so it's going to be fun, guys. And we'd love to see you, meet you, see you again, whole 9 yards. So, Brandy. Haunted Soulz has an event coming up. I think it is next weekend. I believe if anybody in the Indiana area is interested in Randolph County Infirmary, I've been there. It's a cool place to go. However, Brandy and I are not going to that one,
yeah.
But our team is. So
right.
If anybody's interested, message us. We'll send you the link. It's up in Indiana, and it's a cool place. It is. It's a neat location.
Right. Because as much as we would like to go to every event that our team has, we are focusing our time and our money into next month, everyone. Yep. Next month.
Yep, absolutely. So anyway, so it's all good. And Mickey, she says, we so need this trip next month. I hear you, sister. I'm looking forward to seeing you and Brandon again for sure.
Yes.
Yep. So we're going to talk about some cemeteries tonight. Yes. So I'm not going to lie. Brandy and I were sitting after the show last night. We're like, what do we want to talk about? And this topic kind of came up. And really, we've talked about cemeteries, but we've never talked about cemeteries. Like what really, happens, on like desecrated ones or ones that are supposedly haunted and why. And so let's just get our opinions and everybody in chat too, of what, different cemeteries. So it's, I will tell you, and you guys have all heard me say this, I personally do not believe that cemeteries are all haunted by good spirits. Your grandma is long gone. Her body is not there. I truly believe that. I believe that what is at cemeteries is something more on the dark side, only because, think about it. Excuse me. It's all negative that's there at a cemetery. When people go there, they're not going and having a party and having a great time. They're crying, they're upset, there's sadness, there's sorrow, there's depression. So what does that lead to, Brandy?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So that's kind of our beliefs on that, not that, we have no actual proof, but that's just how we kind of think about things like that. So there's never really a good haunting in a cemetery. I don't think.
I don't think so either. because we are now discovering that a lot of reports are saying that dogmen are kind of hanging out in those areas, not necessarily graveyards or cemeteries, but it could be like burial mounds, it could be all kinds of stuff. Hellhounds are associated with that type of area. Anything that's had a lot of death. I mean, there is a big time negative side. Do we think that it's all negative? No.
Well, I just got a text from somebody that's watching the show. He says, I disagree. It depends on who died. It could be a party.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, could it be a lost soul? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not denying that. We're not denying that. But I just don't think that they're all just lost souls. I think they are there with a purpose, and there's a reason why that they're there.
I would agree with you. And that's the thing, I just know too many people that have went to cemeteries and nothing good has ever come out of them. I know of one encounter where a mother and a son were there and they were using dowsing rods, and the boy took home an attachment. I mean, he's seen something negative, had a negative encounter, and took home an attachment. So I just don't think cemeteries are all that great. However, I will tell you this on a side note. We have a friend that's very good psychic medium, and he thinks cemeteries are peaceful. I don't know.
Generally, I don't find cemeteries full of activity. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I can go out there and wander for hours and hours and hours by myself and not receive anything. There's no activity.
That's true.
But have I been to other ones that I've had activity? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, just like the one at the museum. So the Ray County Museum does have a cemetery out back, and we have investigated it. We have gotten absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I agree with you. Not all cemeteries are haunted either.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so,
I mean, now the ones where where they used to back in the day, take your family members out and put them under a tree on your property and things like that. Well, yeah, I'm not going to say that's not, that's not haunted. I mean, I'm not going to say that because it's still within the property. It's still part of their home. It's still part of them. I mean, yes, they could still be out there, just hanging around, just seeing what's happening. But I would say most, cemeteries, graveyards that are associated with, I would say Christianity. Let's just go with that, like a Catholic cemetery or whatever. I find them very peaceful. Nothing's, nothing's lurking out there.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. But then sometimes, do you ever get the feeling when you go to a cemetery, it's just real ominous, or you feel like you're being watched or anything like that?
Yes, but I'm going to tell you this, though. It's always from the outside, like the outer perimeters. It's never inside, the cemetery or anything like that. It's always on the outside, like you're being watched from a tree line, or something is paying attention to your movement and what you're doing. It's always on the outside.
Think about when we were at Emmaus Cemetery, that feeling of being watched.
That was all over. I didn't even know what direction to pull that from. That whole cemetery it's a different place.
It really
it was very weird. Like I don't know how to say it. Like it wasn't like they just took people out there and just boop, there you go.
Down. And the thing is too, we even said while we were out there, one of us, I remember if it was you or Terry, somebody said, got the feeling of being watched. And you were right. Yeah. So,
it's just what's watching you from the woods.
Yeah. And
that's what you need to watch out for.
And we can kind of jump into that subject too. Let's do that after. We'll talk about that kind of stuff, dogmen and stuff and Bigfoot around cemeteries after, because I've got some other cemeteries we'll talk about, and then we'll jump into that stuff. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So one of the first cemeteries I'm going to talk about, and I am going to show a couple pictures, is Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Midlothian, Illinois, which is near Chicago.
Okay.
So it says this cemetery, located in a forest preserve near Chicago, is known for its stories of ghostly figures, including a woman in white, phantom cars, and a dog. It has a history of vandalism and desecration, which may contribute to his reputation. So I'm going to show a couple pictures here because this is, I got to tell you, if this is true, legit ghost picture, it is just as good as yours that you captured at Eureka Springs. So let me get to it here. Do you see that? Do you see that woman sitting on that grave?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So the picture on the left is just, I guess, the daytime version. And then, similar on the right is with the ghost. But they say that's a ghost.
Yeah. Randy and I took apart this picture.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well,
yeah, we took apart this picture. And there is something not exactly right about the picture. It almost looks like an inlay or what we would call Photoshop, if you know what I mean. It's almost, it's like it's almost too clean.
Gotcha.
I can't even describe it. I'd have to go back and really look at this picture again because it's probably been about a year since I looked at it.
Sure.
But there is something wrong with the picture, and like we said, we were talking about all the photography and things that were done, but we can't say for sure.
Yeah.
We can't say for sure that's what it is. It just looks a little different.
Right.
Because we've looked at a lot of pictures that have that photoshopped appearance and gosh, now we have AI. Cool. That's even worse.
It's got so much stuff up for us.
Yeah. But we did find a little something off about the picture, but I think this is when we were on the fence that we couldn't decide whether, if everything that we get from the photographer or, the evidence catcher, if everything they say is true, well, then it's a 100% great catch.
Yep.
But it does look strange.
It sure does. That's what I'm saying. I seen it. I'm like, oh, that's right up there with your picture. Because honestly, you have the best picture I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, I am lucky to get it. I am lucky to get it.
Once in a lifetime picture, for sure.
Yeah, and I got that after thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures and videos, and I got one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's what it takes sometimes. That's what it takes sometimes. But like I said, I find the folklore and the stories to be way more interesting sometimes than the photos, because when I look at the photos, I'm like, oh man, I went through all that great story for that picture.
Right.
Dang it.
I got you.
But that one looks cool. Like I said, I think we were on the fence about that one.
Yep. Okay. So there's that one. The next cemetery we're going to talk about is Greenwood Cemetery. Now, I don't have any pictures of Greenwood Cemetery. However, what I thought was really cool about it is that it's known to be haunted, and it's got, let me find it here. They filmed 4 movies in this cemetery. And one was Afterlife in 2009 with Liam Neeson and Christina Ricci. Bernard and Doris in 2006 with Susan Sarandon and Ralph somebody. And Brooklyn Rules in 2007 with Alec Baldwin and Scott Caan. And The Departed in 2006 with Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon. So I thought that was really kind of cool. So apparently, though, some of these stars have seen weirdness go on in that cemetery during filming.
Well, yeah. We always talk about people bringing in things when we talk about going to locations and stuff like that. People bring stuff with them. And can you imagine all those movies, all those people, and then after the movies are made, then all the people just say, yeah, I want to go there because, my favorite movie, part of it was filmed there. I want to go there.
Right.
Yeah. Can you imagine all the stuff brought in to a cemetery like that?
Exactly. And here's the thing too. So as we know, some ghosts like to be active and things like that. So, if it sees a movie set or something, they might get pretty active. Like, hey, here's my time to shine, or.
Or, and it, like I said, it could be somebody is attached or something is attached, not attached, but like a hitchhiker coming in, or
Yeah.
or all kinds of stuff, just to see what's happening, just to be in the party, shall we
Mhm.
say. They want to be part of what's happening, so they
Yeah.
can feel like they're still alive. Yeah, absolutely. So with
Yep.
all those movies, yeah, I could see that.
Right. Right. So another one that I want to talk about is kind of like, I've got some history to this one, and it is actually Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond, Virginia. So my fifth or sixth great grandfather, he was a soldier in the Civil War, and he was killed, and they buried him in this cemetery.
Hmm.
I have a family cemetery in St. James, Missouri, and he has a memorial there, but his body is actually in Hollywood Cemetery. And it's
Okay.
on my bucket list. I'm going to travel there one day to go see it. But there is a lot of famous people, presidents buried in this cemetery, and the pictures are beautiful. It has views of the James River, but let me find out here. Let me go to it because it was really cool. So there's 2 U.S. presidents buried there, James Monroe and John Tyler, and the Confederate president, Jefferson Davis, is all buried there.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? So, and I do have a few pictures of it, and they say it's very, very active, and you can't get in there after dark, but they do tours and stuff like that. But, it's pretty awesome. Thank you, JD Smooth. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And we appreciate that comment. He says, Krista and Brandy, you're awesome and great asset to the cryptid and paranormal community. We definitely appreciate that. And thank you very much. Let me show you guys a couple of pictures of this cemetery, because I think this cemetery is I think it's pretty. So there's one of them. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you, JD Smooth, but we got to take that down. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow.
Isn't that a pretty cemetery?
That is beautiful.
Yeah. So, and I have another picture of it here too. Right there.
Oh, wow. And I'm one of those weirdos. I love cemeteries.
Yep.
I love them.
When I make my road trip, Brandy, go with me.
Oh, I know. I need to go to that one because I'll be in there for hours. I guarantee you.
Yeah. Well,
we're going to have to make sure it's a nice, cool day.
Yeah. I would like to go find my 5 whatever it goes great grandfather's grave.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is beautiful. And I also find the ones that are beautiful is the ones that have all the mausoleums.
Yep.
I am just in awe. Granted, I know about Louisiana and how their graves are. They have the little mausoleums and everything, but let me tell you how ornate some of those things are. The architecture is just absolutely insane for such a little building.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. It's pretty cool. Like I'm with you on that. Like I would just love. I could spend a day there. Like you and I go. I know how we are. We would have to go early and be there all day.
Yeah, that was something my mom and I would do, especially in her old hometown, and we would really go to all the cemeteries and just walk the cemeteries, because you can learn a lot about a community of the cemeteries, because you'll have the family plots and the years, and you can find out who was here first and who was more prominent just by the headstones. I mean, there's a lot of history you can find out right in your local cemetery.
Yeah, so I told you that I have a family cemetery in St. James, and I've stopped there several times, and it's a really cool cemetery. It goes back to like the late 1700s, and it all started with my family. Like when I did my genealogy and look back, it's like my great grandmother and things like that. So it's really cool. And every time I go by there, I try to stop in there and just walk around and take pictures and see it, because
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. So I like that cemetery though. So I wanted to talk to you about Hollywood Cemetery, just because, it's kind of sentimental to me.
Right.
So another one, it's right here in St. Louis that I was going to talk about, and it is haunted because I personally have witnessed paranormal activity there, and it is Jefferson Barracks.
Oh, God. Well, there should be. There should be. I'm just saying there should be.
Yep. And this is Jefferson Barracks right here. So at this cemetery, actually, my grandfather is buried there, and we also put my grandma's ashes in with him there. My grandfather was in World War II, and so he's buried there. And I actually did a ghost investigation. Oh gosh, it was probably back in 2014, something like that, there at Jefferson Barracks, and it was really active. I actually had some kind of entity pulled my hair.
Oh, well, that's not good.
You know what I did though, because that's a lot of Civil War and stuff in there, and
Right.
so I wore, as a lot of you guys know, that I did Civil War reenacting, and I wore period correct clothing. Walked through there, I was bait, and yeah, they were very interested. So it was really cool, Yeah. So there's that one. What do you think, like those kind of cemeteries, though? Why do you think it would be haunted? Like, because the way they passed, a lot of them, passed, fighting, do you think? Or, it was such a quick death?
I have a theory on it. Okay. Especially having a lot of military personnel in and around my life, my whole entire life. I think that sometimes when they get into battles and things like that, that they form a camaraderie with their closest people that they're with, that they actually become their family. I understand that. Sure. I'm thinking that sometimes when there is a big, I don't even know how to put it on YouTube, but when there is a big issue, when a lot of people pass away and they're all put into like one of these cemeteries, I think that they're there for each other or trying to find each other, or, because they do become their loved ones. They become their closest companions. They are their best friends. They're, they actually gave their life for someone else, and I think that sometimes that may be why that happens, because of the closeness that happens when they are in battle and things like that. Because I've seen a lot of people that have lifelong family/friendships.
That's true. They do.
Because of this stuff, and they never forget each other.
Yep. Yes, Tracy, Arlington Cemetery, Jefferson Barracks is real similar. Yep. It is a soldier cemetery. So anyway, I just think that one, like I said, I did witness paranormal activity there, and it's a beautiful cemetery. It really is. And my grandma and grandpa are there, so which is kind of cool. All right. The next one we're going to talk about, it's kind of a cemetery, but it's at a house. And I've read a lot of stories on this, and I want to get your thoughts. It's about Graceland. Elvis Presley's?
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
But, okay, so they've got Elvis is buried there. Lisa Marie Presley, his daughter, is buried there. Benjamin Keough, which is Elvis's grandson. Gladys Presley, who is Elvis's mother. Vernon Presley, who is Elvis's father. And Minnie Mae Hood Presley, who is Elvis's aunt, are all buried there. And I got to tell you, let me show you this. Why do you think that would be? Do you think because Elvis died so suddenly? What do you think?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, that's Graceland. It's very pretty.
I mean, it is. First of all, I didn't feel anything weird out there or anything about, it did feel weird anyway, but there's like tons of people there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So I wouldn't think that they're there. I just, their spirits are gone from there.
That Elvis is like, some of the help still says that they see like Elvis's, through Graceland and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing more and more of this TikTok stuff about that Elvis may not be dead.
Well, that too. But Randy says, I personally don't believe the bodies are actually there. And you know what? He could be right.
I don't think so. I mean,
You think Michael Jackson's still alive too?
No, no. I don't think the bodies are there either. Graceland used to be in a very beautiful spot there outside of Memphis, right there, and it was, it was super, super beautiful. But over the years, the economy has declined, the housing has declined, all of that stuff has declined. I mean, there's like graffiti everywhere. The town is all dilapidated. It is just. Could I see if they were buried there being removed due to vandals? Yes.
Yes. I can see that too. However, I'm sure that place is secured all the time, very well secured. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I mean, it is, but there's always that chance, and I just don't know. I wouldn't want my grave on display.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And I don't know who thought of putting everybody there. I mean, originally it must have been Elvis to put his mom there.
Yeah, I think his mom passed away. But you know what? I also think, and they didn't say it, I think he had his, Elvis was a twin, and I believe he had his brother move there to Graceland too.
I don't know. It was Tupelo, right? He was
born in Tupelo, yes.
Tupelo. Okay, so I don't know. That's a good question. Did he move it there? Now, when I didn't see anything there that would state that he was there.
In Tupelo?
But I mean, I was there decades ago.
So I was there honestly about a decade ago. And we went, my dad was down in Mississippi, and we took the kids down there and went down there and visited, and we came back through Graceland.
Right.
And but we went to Tupelo is where we went.
Right.
We went to Elvis's birthplace and stuff, but I don't remember seeing any graves there at the birthplace, just Graceland.
Yeah, I don't remember anything there. Like I said, it's been a long time. I would have to really, honestly, things have changed through there. So, I mean, I could see where they were trying to keep up with what was going on and try to keep everything as pristine as it was the day Elvis had passed, but the amount of people that go in and out of there, I mean, they've had to change a lot. I mean,
oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing where I think it could be haunted. You got to think, okay, look how Elvis died of an overdose. So basically he unalived himself. Okay. His daughter died suddenly. His grandson unalived himself. So you've got these three deaths that are, were sudden and tragic, not expected, where like his parents were older. So you kind of see maybe they're going to go, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what do you think? I mean, that's why I feel like, people say they see Elvis. The Help says that they see how Elvis walking through Graceland. I could see that.
Absolutely a residual type.
Yeah.
Just a moment in time. I don't think that his intelligent personality is there.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Mickey has a point. I'm going to ask you about this. She says, I have my mom's ashes here, but still haven't seen her, and I'm okay with that. What do you think about keeping past loved ones' ashes? What's your feelings on that? Do you think that it could cause a haunting, or what do you think?
I have them.
Yeah.
So I don't have any feelings one way or another. I mean, I have the ashes of my father. He's right in the living room. At first, when he passed away, I mean, probably about a year later, I did have some type of activity where I was running around the house looking for my keys. And, all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm late for work. Where are my keys? Da, da, da. And I looked everywhere probably twice. And then I heard my dad's voice clearly say out loud, not in my head, because, we have to distinguish the two. Out loud, say, Brady, they're on the table.
There you go.
And I've looked on that table, and I'm telling you, I scoured that table.
There. Yeah.
Everything except throwing everything off the table, and I did hear his voice, and There was like a time where my dad in his house that him and my mom lived in. Now, my dad was a jokester. He was a prankster in his real life.
Right.
Okay. So every time I would come over and there was like a side door that you would go in and there was no window on it. It was just a plain door. So every time I'd go open that door, he'd be smart and he'd stand behind that door and block it so I couldn't open it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, you know what? This door's stuck. And then I'm like, Dad, can you move away from the door? And you could hear him laughing down the other side, just trying to keep me out of the house. Well, there was a time where I was coming in from my garage and there was the side door to get into my house. You go right through my laundry room and there's the door. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I go to open the door. That door would not open. It was as if somebody was standing on the other side of the door and would not let me in. Wow. So I finally got in and I'm like, who was blocking the door? What was in front of the door? My mom's looking at me like, there was nothing. And nobody was by that door. We were wondering what you were doing. I said, I couldn't get in the door. And that is the first and last time that has ever happened. It never happened before because I could have blamed it on, okay, the door swelling, or, maybe the house is adjusted or, because things like that happen. Absolutely. But no, I've never had a problem with that door before or after.
That's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, there was no explanation for that, and I tried to debunk it, everybody. I tried. I tried.
Do you think it was your dad, though? Like,
I do. The mannerisms, kind of. Sure. And I believe that they can come through and they stay with you for a little while sometimes just to check and see how you're doing, let you know they're there. And then they just kind of go on. They just kind of move on.
Yeah.
But see, I'm very skeptical sometimes about things. I have to watch what the mannerisms are.
Right. Right.
Kind of like with the door being shut in my house. Now that is something that has never been witnessed in my house because it never happened. Mm-hmm. It always happened at my parents' house and nowhere near here.
Right. Right.
So it would be something that would be completely unknown to anyone else but me.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I get it. So I was very, very close to my grandma. Mm-hmm. And when she died, she wanted to be cremated. Actually, she had everything paid for. She wanted to be cremated. So we had her cremated, but we kind of split her up. So we she lived out she had a lake house and we put part of her out there and then we buried the other part of her with my grandfather there at Jefferson Barracks.
Right.
And my brother, I remember him asking, does anybody want any of Granny's ashes? I'm like, nope, I don't need it. Nope. And then same thing when my mom died it'd be almost 3 years ago. Same thing, like she already had her plot, but she wanted to be cremated. So we had her cremated, but we put her ashes in her plot where it is. My brother, same thing. Anybody want one of mom's ashes and some of mom's ashes? Nope, I don't want any. I'm just not one that wants to keep my loved ones right next to me. I've got 2 dogs up here in my shelf of death. And that's as far as I can go is with the dogs.
Yeah, for me, I've got my reasons. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Yep.
I've got my reasons because this is my mother's wishes that she wants.
Yep.
To when she passes away to be cremated, and I'm taking my mom and dad to Colorado, and I'm going to sprinkle them off the mountain in outside of Denver. It's actually in Golden, Colorado, is where I'm taking them and dumping them off a mountain over there where they got married.
There you go. I think that's perfect. I think so. Something like that. I get that. I get what you're doing. And same thing, my dad told me the same thing, that when he dies and my stepmom dies, he wants me to put them together, shake them up, and then let them go somewhere pretty. Okay. Right. So I'm like, all right, I can do that, but up until then, I don't know. I'm just not one about having them in the house. I don't know.
Right. Well, okay. So, I mean,
I don't like dead bodies.
Well, to be completely honest, and Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry and I love you, but I'm going to tell on you. When my father was cremated, she couldn't, it was just too much for her to have the ashes. It was just too much, and that's okay. That's okay. Right. Sometimes it's just too much for people.
Right.
So, it's like I strapped my dad in the car in the front seat, turned up the music, and we had a good time, the 70 miles home. You know what I mean? It was just like we were having conversation. I mean, if somebody could see exactly what I was doing in the car and who I had in the car, they'd have thought I was crazy at that point.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell on somebody, and she's going to freaking kill me if she finds out that I told. But I'm going to tell her I told, and that's Kathy. So when her mom passed away, her mom was cremated. And when she went to pick up her mom, do you know, I know for months she kept her mom in her car. She went everywhere with her.
Yeah.
Everywhere with her. As far as I know, her mom could still be in her car. I don't know. She never told me if she took her out or not. But seriously, Kathy drove everywhere with her mom. True
Yeah. Why not? Why not? And it's to me now, I mean, when my mom finally moved in with me after her house burnt down, she moved in with me, and then she was okay with that. But that was a couple years later. That was not instantaneous. That was a very difficult move. And I get it. But I don't have any I that's just what we call the meat sack, the vessel, it is nothing that where his soul would be.
Right.
That is nothing.
Exactly.
Now, do I have things that belong to him that he cherished? Yes, I do.
Yeah, and that's me. I have stuff with my grandma, and I have
including
stuff
his wife.
Yeah,
I have his wife.
Yeah.
So would he be here every now and again? Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Absolutely. So I mean, I have everything. Like I said, I have everything. A lot of stuff that is very important to him, plus his wife. So would he be here? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and he always teased me because we've talked about this before about that third bay. He said that was his personal garage. So we'd always tease back and forth about that part of the garage, and he just enjoyed coming up here.
Sure.
So it was just, it was fine. And like I said, with the ashes, I don't care. I don't care. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I just, teach their own, and I don't knock anybody that has it. I just preferred not to have my mom and my grandma. I love them dearly.
Yeah.
However,
I don't want anybody's ashes for memories for the rest of my life.
Right.
If this is something that you wish to have done, in your afterlife, I will do that for you. Absolutely. I have no issues with that. But I am not going to keep you for the rest of mine.
Right. Exactly.
Because,
now I do have my dogs. I have Diesel and I have Maggie. And I actually wrote on the bottom of it for when I'm gone, then my son, he'll know who is in there. Because, Diesel was his childhood dog too, So
right.
at least if he wants to keep Diesel, he can keep him, or he can spread him. He can do whatever he wants to do with them. So
take him out to a big old field where he can run and play.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's exactly my thought, Krista, is after, say, after our children and our grandchildren go, who's going to really remember us after that?
Right. It's true. It's true.
I don't want to leave that burden on someone who doesn't even know me.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So
I like Randy's idea. Randy says, I'm getting cremated and put in a bucket of paint to be painted above my bed so I can watch my wife for eternity. You would too, Randy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But somebody would have to paint it there, Randy. You got to find that person. You got to hire somebody before you die and then get it all taken care of. So when it happens, the contractor come in and get it done. That's it. Without her knowing.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I could see that. I could see Randy seriously doing that though.
I do. I do. Yeah. With me, it's you know what? Hey, it's like cremate me and take me to a haunted place.
Yeah.
Krista knows them all. Pick my favorite one and throw me out there. I'll go on in with those people, and then I'll be able to at least see what I've been hearing for years.
Right.
It's kind of like, just throw me out there. I'm good. I'm good. There's, I don't have to pay all this money to be put in the ground. I mean, if you cremate me, I'll eventually end up there anyway.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm actually good with being cremated. Did you hear that, Nick?
Yeah.
My son's here.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Yeah, we're good with that. No,
Exactly.
I'm like that too, you know, because cremation is a whole lot cheaper than burying someone. And you know what? Just take me out and put me somewhere pretty and have a party, have a drink on me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of people that we have on this earth today, I
Right.
mean, considering, the amount of real estate we're going to have just to put everybody in. I mean, of course, people are going back to the old family mausoleums.
Mm-hmm.
They're going back to those, which, hey, to each his own. I mean, that's fine. I don't need all that.
No.
I don't need all that. I mean, if I make it big in this world, you'll be able to read about me in the history books. That's all I got to say.
There you go. And, you know, like you said, you know, being messed with people who don't even know you. So you got to really figure after your grandchildren, you know, like your great grandchildren probably aren't going to know you. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, they're really not. I mean,
I'm
at
with
this
you.
point, at my age, I've not had any grandchildren.
Yeah.
So if if I'm lucky enough, you know, I'm not pressuring anybody, but
Yeah.
I mean, my great grandchildren will never know me.
Yeah, mine either. That's what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying. You know,
Mm-mm.
so yeah, it pretty much stops at your grandchildren, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, because I didn't have children when I was super young, so I will not have that availability like some people do. I won't have them available to me, you know, throughout my lifetime.
Yep.
So, it's a personal choice, honestly, to have children later versus than earlier.
Yep.
For me, that was the best thing for me.
Yeah.
So I waited to have children. Do I regret that sometimes? Yeah. Because now I have children that are just lacking in the grandchildren area. Just saying, people out there, if my children are watching, not the youngest one, the other two.
Yeah.
They're well above the age. Not Abby. No, the
Yeah.
other two, they're well above, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. I was young when, I was 20 when I had my first one, and then 23 when I had my second one, and then I adopted the girls about 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
so
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just we had that later in life. Hey, we got kids again.
yeah,
It's like doing it all over.
yeah. So I did it young and old.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So okay, back onto the hauntedness.
Yes.
So there's one thing that I wanted to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
What about like graves who are desecrated? What do you think about, like, do you think like it takes the spirits off? Do you think, you know, you can take home an attachment from doing that? What are your thoughts about that?
You know, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put it into graves that are you know, from Christians, okay, we've got that. I am not so sure. But take this though. Take like Egyptians. Okay? They do stuff, and they've cursed stuff, and they've you know, painted it on the walls,
Right.
and they wrote about it, about how, you know, you're going to be haunted if you take anything of this, and you're going to be
Right.
cursed. And yeah, because I think they manifested that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, that they manifested that whole, you know, thing.
You're right.
You know, Christians, I don't believe that's true. I
Mhm.
believe that, like most Christians, hey, this is just a vessel.
Yeah.
After we're gone, you know.
Although I don't believe like people should desecrate the graves. Like,
Oh
even,
gosh, no.
I got to tell you, like, I used to have a cemetery down the road from my house. It was behind my house, and we would go down there. And I remember having my dog Diesel that I just talked about walking through there, and I wouldn't even like let him, like, you know how male dogs got to pee on everything. I wouldn't even
Yeah.
let him pee in there. You know what I'm
No.
saying? To me, it's just wrong.
It's respect.
Right. Exactly.
It's respect.
Yep.
And just in case you run across one of those lost individuals, those lost souls, yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that.
No.
But it's just out of respect.
Yeah. And what do you think about, okay, so there's a couple cemeteries we can talk about with this. So there is a cemetery in St. Louis that when they expanded the St. Louis airport, that they moved the cemetery. However, they did not move all of the graves. Right. I know, right?
Yeah.
And the it was a big ordeal. You know, like a lot of people was really like ticked off about it. And, you know, there's a lot of the cemetery's condition. It says it has mismanagement, neglect, and reports of overturned graves and missing remains. Yeah. So I think something like that, you know, and there's another like Land Between the Lakes. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that cemetery. It's still in the water.
Yeah.
Grave that's still in the water. Like, you know, they didn't move all the graves.
Yeah, they didn't.
No.
I mean, anybody who wanted their loved ones when they flooded that area, anybody who wanted their loved ones, well, yeah, they moved them. But if they couldn't contact anybody from the family, if they just got no responses from anybody, they left them there.
Yeah.
Which I can't tell you how unnerving that is. I think you move one, you move them all. Is my personal belief on that. I mean, because I always go back to the thought is I said this on another show a couple weeks ago. The whole poltergeist thing when the lady falls in the pool, and then there's all these. No,
right?
No, you know, there's just something about that. I'm like, you move one, you move them all.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, because they are identified. There is written documents about these people being there. All they said is that they couldn't contact any living relative, so they just didn't move them. I'm like, no.
That's BS. That is BS. You know, okay, so that there's that cemetery there in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
There is also that I've read about, and I want to go to. It's on my bucket list. I'm going to go to next time I'm in Colorado. It is a park. Cheeseman Park in Denver, Colorado, was built on the site of a former Mount Prospect Cemetery. So as Denver grew, the cemetery was transformed into a park, and they say that there's still human remains there, that they didn't move all the graves. And that is a haunted park.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah, but it's hard to tell. I mean, I don't like to think that cemeteries are haunted. I really, really don't. I mean, I would want to think that when you lay your relative to rest, they are at peace and at rest. Okay, that's good. So everything should be peaceful and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they do stupid stuff like this, which has been done countless times in history. Mm-hmm. About not removing stuff and just building over. I just don't understand people. I just don't understand people. Could that create some hauntings? Yeah.
And, you know, here's the thing, like you said, like the LBL and this Cheeseman Park and this cemetery here in St. Louis, you know, I could not, I guess, feel right about leaving graves.
No, but then I don't feel right about moving them either.
Right. My conscience would get to me, you know?
Especially, okay, let's talk about this for a second. Especially in today's economy and everything else, how much people are paying for burial plots.
A lot.
Can you imagine 70 to 100 years from now, somebody is going to move you to somewhere else after you put all that money into it?
Right.
Because they want to use it for some type of development.
Yeah.
I mean, would you be ticked off? Yeah. You know, okay, so you buried me on the back 40 of my farm, right? You buried me back out there, and 100 years from now, a developer comes in, decides they're going to put a subdivision in.
Yeah.
Am I going to come back because I'm ticked off because that's my property? Yeah.
But here's another thing. Think about this. Think about like the Trail of Tears that goes through Missouri. You know how many thousands of people died on the Trail of Tears? They didn't
just on the trail side.
Right. So they would just bury them where they died. You know, they didn't find a cemetery. So you got to think too, like how many just out here in people's backyards there could be bodies, because back in the day, that's what they did. They died. You know. Yeah.
That's the case with a lot of stuff in our history too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
especially in the old West, they buried you where you were.
Yeah.
If you were too far from anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of problems with that whole thing. Like I said, if you're buried in one spot, leave them there. I don't think they should be moved for any reason.
I agree. Like Riley says, it's very expensive to die these days. So
cremation is the way to go. I'm 100% on board.
yeah. So we have a company coming on to join us, Brandy. He just sent me a text, and he says he's got a story about our topic, and so he's going to hop on.
Okay. Well, 1 second though. There is a picture that I sent you, Krista, over
Messenger.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just upload that picture. It's a cemetery I'd like to talk about, and it's one from my childhood.
Oh, that's kind of cool looking. Okay, hold on. But yeah, the BMR, that's who's coming on.
Oh, well, come on, bring him on. We love BMR.
Said give him a few minutes. Let me save this, and I will put that on to Blondes and Booze.
Yeah, because I mean, this cemetery here is located in Flint, Michigan, and we used to go out there all the time.
Really?
All the time as kids.
Well,
because it was not only a cemetery, but it had works of art in this place. These statues that they put in there, it was just awesome. I come from a time where they would take us to cemeteries as children, and we would do the etchings.
Oh yeah, with paper and pencil and
yes,
yeah.
And the black charcoal. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So we come from an age where we would do that. We would learn about our own history, which I think with our generation, that made us a different breed anyway.
Absolutely.
Because, when you take your class trip to the cemetery, yeah.
I like walking through them and reading the ages and who they were. And yeah.
Yes. And then, like, if you look at the headstones and stuff, they may have like little things like praying hands, little lambs, shining down from the heavens. All these different things mean different stuff.
Absolutely.
And you got to look up the meanings of what it is. There is more to just their name and birth date and death date. There's way more storytelling on these headstones. Mm-hmm. And I am just completely amazed by them.
Yeah, so I'm hoping okay, I got this picture. I'm going to bring it up that the story behind it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to put it up now.
Okay. This picture right here is from Sunset Hills Cemetery. This is in Flint, Michigan. This is one of the ones that I will remember for life. This is from my childhood. And part of the cemetery that we used to go to as our little class outing.
Wow.
Now, this statue, should I say, is called Crack the Whip. Now, of course, if you've ever played that as a child, you hang on to hands and you start slinging each other all over the place until somebody falls. It's exactly how they used to play. Well, the end little girl, you can see her about falling at the very end.
Yeah.
You can see her at the end, but if you could look very close at her, she's actually missing a shoe. Well, the shoe is located 3 or 4 feet from her in the grass.
I do see she's missing the shoe.
Yeah. So it like I said, it's located 3 or 4 feet back from her in the actual, it's in the ground.
Okay.
And they said at nighttime when you're out in the cemetery that when you're around this statue that you can actually hear children playing.
Yeah. Really? You can hear children playing?
Yeah, because this is out near the children's, spot where they would have young children buried. And they have this there.
A really cool statue.
Isn't that now? This is what I'm talking about when I talk about they have art there.
Yeah.
Art.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if these statues were made from particular children, like that the artist had in mind. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't find anything about that particular anything that deep of it. All I found was that he made this, from his, from memories of his childhood, where that's what they would play, and kind of like we played dodgeball.
Yeah. Well, look, Joanne says that's how my mother went blind from that game. So I could see where that could be a dangerous game.
Yes, I'm not saying it was very smart.
No.
Yeah, that's what I said. You just swing each other around till somebody flies off. I'm not saying it was a great game. I'm just saying, that those things, that stuff happens. But the artwork that goes into some of these cemeteries is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance, just walk through one of the bigger ones.
Mm-hmm.
Walk through them, see what's going on in these cemeteries, because you'll find beauty in it, and I guarantee you that you'll find something you'll always remember. And that picture right there is what I'll always remember.
Right. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad you sent that, because I really like the statue, the art.
I know it has nothing to do with the cemetery. Nothing.
No.
No, it's not a cross. It's not, Jesus. It's.
And it actually looks like the kids are having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, with that very dangerous shoulder dislocating game. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. We have company. You pop on in when you want.
Yeah, pop on in.
Well, I guess I'll pop in right now.
You got the power.
I did not want to interrupt the show, because I was sitting out back, and I have this really cool radio where I can pick up the podcast. I was listening, and I said, boy, it reminded me of something that was told to me, when I first started doing podcasting or whatever, YouTube, that I remember telling, like, in video format, when I didn't even have like 1,000 subscribers in a video. Right. So I was just listening, and I came across something. My wheels started turning in my head, and I'm like, "Oh my god! Maybe you want to hear this." So I don't know.
Of course,
but,
to me. I'm glad you did.
I don't want to interrupt. You guys continue on.
No, you're good.
But I do agree. I will get cremated for sure.
Yeah, I want to be cremated too.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't want people to spend money on me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not there.
Yeah.
Go have a party.
So
that's how
it's just financially
beneficial.
Yeah, it's financially beneficial, but then again, I mean, honestly, it's better for our
environment. And Brandy froze.
As Brandy freezes, probably, and
it's because I'm talking about death. I'm telling you.
You froze.
Well, we're going to continue on with death.
But I think it's better for the environment too, because I mean, we instead of trying to stick all this stuff into the ground, you know what I mean?
Yes, and
I mean, we already have the trash issue where they're making new mountains today out of trash. I don't think we should be adding to that.
We have, believe this or not, Randy, you're probably left by this time. We have Mount Trashmore, about a mile, or not a mile, maybe an hour north of me. And it's a snow hill made of trash.
Wow.
And who knows what the trash is made of? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I said. Cremate me, because we can't just let ourselves out there to rot in the yard.
Yeah.
And I think it that way. They won't let us do that if it's against the law. But you know.
And I do think too, you guys. I think the three of us, maybe it was one of our shows. I forget already. We do so many.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you guys I want to get cremated because I don't want to be put in a coffin or a wood box 6 feet under. And I just have this. I don't want to be, infiltrated by worms and grubs and just rotting on the ground.
I want to be one of those ones that get buried and made into a tree.
Yeah, there you go. Or take my
ashes. I don't mind the worms and stuff. I mean, I want to be beneficial. I want to help the environment.
Sure, but the other people are doing that, Brandy. Yeah. Take my ashes and spread it in the forest.
Give them to Bigfoot. Let him decide.
Let him decide. Let him read my mind. Let him talk to me when I'm dead.
So let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys afraid to die?
Yes. Yes. I think.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's because it has been instilled in us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it is true. Now, they say when you get towards, you know, well, you get to the end of your life, that sometimes it's a welcoming thing. You're no longer afraid to go, that it's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I have to say, yes, I am scared to die.
Mm-hmm.
I am not scared to die defending my beliefs, my family. I'm not scared to die that way. No.
Oh no, absolutely, Brandy. I will die for my family or great friends.
Absolutely.
Without a question.
Yep.
But just to die of old age and
if it was just some random thing that happened, yes.
Yeah. Because I've debated that in my head. And you got to remember, I was brought up on the staunch Catholic school.
I was brought up Catholic too.
And everything they say, you're going to hell if you commit the smallest of sins. So as a kid, I was so scared to do bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then people tell me, as long as you tell God you're sorry, or Jesus, you know, give your heart to Jesus, you're going to go to the kingdom. Okay, fine and dandy. I was not brought up that way. I was brought up, if you break a 10th commandment, you're going to hell.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I look back at my life, I've broken a couple. I've not killed anybody.
Right.
You know, I've not done the bad ones, but you know, the ones that are the mind screw.
Yeah.
You know, you can't desire another woman is married. Well, I think I've done that throughout my life. Hey, I think she's good looking.
Look at movie stars, for gosh sake.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I thought of, you know, some things that probably aren't correct throughout my lifetime.
Right.
Yeah. As I got older, we've all. I think everybody has.
That's right. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
So back to the question. I kind of am. Then I think back. Well, when I die, if everything is supposed to be how it is, I'll see my dad.
Right.
One day when my mom goes, I'll see her and all my loved ones. So that's very cool.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's true or false.
Yeah.
And I don't. And I'm sorry, I just don't know. And none of us know.
So my thing is, I'm not afraid to die. I'm really not, because like you said, seeing our loved ones, I grieved for my grandma for a long time. I still miss her to this day. And to be reunited with her, I think is going to be fantastic. And I believe, you know, that there is life after death, and that, you know, I'm going to go to where the good is, you know, and I get to see like my dog Diesel again, you know, my heart dog, and, you know, things like that. So
absolutely.
Honestly, I'm okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ready to go,
okay, good.
But you know, I'm not afraid. If it's my time and God calls me home, so be it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, I just don't know. It's just the mystery, and we'll never know that mystery until that day comes.
Right. And then we can come back. I will come back and I will haunt all of them MFers who told me that Bigfoot was not real.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we know.
I can't wait to sit down and talk with Bigfoot. I'm going to go talk with Patty. Hey, Patty, what's up? Can you believe that? What's up?
Yeah. I mean, there's always that looking forward to the afterlife. I mean, to having all of your questions answered. But, you know, will we really care? That's, you know, that's the whole mystery, and that's a whole different show. But I mean, once we get there, will we really care? Heck no. I'll be in my best possible, not physical, but spiritual shape I've ever been. I will be happy. I will be content. And will I really care?
No, you probably won't, because we'll be in bliss.
Right. They say there's nothing negative in heaven. You know.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not going to say I'm not going to hang out with Bigfoot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No. I'll remember, and I will, you know, seek him out and everybody else.
I won't care if he exists or not now. It's like I'll just hang out with him. It'll be all right.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, you guys, that's a great topic. We should all brainstorm and do a show on that. That'd be cool. What we just
Yep.
talked about. But no,
Right.
so I was sitting out back and I said, man, I remember, and my brain starts turning. And I said, well, I got something's kind of related. And I kind of said, I'm going to, see if you guys, I'll pop on. And I remember this is maybe 3 years ago. And it's kind of cool because I know that was, this involves a bunch of friends and the friends' families.
Mhm.
And I do remember that, where I remember this from was from this guy, Bob, and his friend was Jan.
Mhm.
And these two people, they were brought up with as best of friends throughout the family. Now, when I talk about the family, they've been such closely related and bonded together that they all have been throughout generations and maybe 3-4 decades. This family and friends have all been together and they have this tight bond, whether they're blood related or just friends.
Mhm.
And somewhere along the lines, somebody came up with the idea that we all should be buried at the same cemetery for those that choose to be buried.
Hmm.
That's how close they all were.
Okay.
Now, if some of us choose to be cremated or otherwise, that's your prerogative.
Sure.
But they wanted to all be together in the same cemetery.
Okay.
So, and this went on for 3 or 4 decades, and they were always so close together. So, this Jan and Bob, of course, were closely brought up this way. And as kids growing up, they were interested in the paranormal. They got involved in the paranormal, mostly on a spiritual side. And this Jan and Bob, they got together and they're like, we hear all the stories, how great over the decades our families have been and friends have been. And we've heard the stories, and they kind of found that they needed more.
Right.
So when they got old enough, they started doing some paranormal stuff. And then they started visiting the cemetery around 16 or 17 when one of them could drive to visit the cemetery where all their friends, all their relatives were buried, which was a handful throughout the years. And they would hang out, and for whatever the reason, and what they wanted to do was get answers. So they tried to get answers at the cemetery.
Gotcha.
So this went on for a couple of years, about 2 or 3 years at the most. And they never got answers. They never came across a spiritual being, an entity, a ghost, if you will. So they're like, oh, well, this paranormal stuff is, made up or whatever.
Right.
So Bob, they graduated high school, and Bob, the guy Bob got a scholarship to, I forget you guys, the schools, let's say Michigan, and Jan, let's say Ohio State. Okay. So they both separated. But prior to them going off and starting their college careers, they said, one last time, let's go back to the cemetery of all of our beloved friends and relatives throughout the years that are all buried at the same for one last hurrah together so we meet again.
Right.
They're like, yeah, cool idea. So they went out to this cemetery and hanging out. The sun is starting to set a little bit, and they noticed, and again, all the plots, they're spread out, of course, with other folks, other people, but they're all within, an area. And they started noticing these, like, as I remember them saying, not ghosts, but they noticed these, like, things that was like a foggy mist was floating around the headstones, swirling around. Not a humanoid shape, not scary, but they noticed that, wow, this is something really cool going on that wasn't natural. So they hung out maybe, and after they started witnessing all this, about 15 or 20 minutes in, they both kind of simultaneously got a bad vibe.
Mhm.
They weren't communicated or spoken to, but they both got this uneasy feeling that they should leave.
Mhm.
So they did. And then on their way back home, they said, "Wow, you guys, did you feel that?" They're talking to each other. "Oh yeah, it felt like kind of like we should not be doing this." So they said, "Yeah, oh well." They kind of blew it off, and they, kissed, shook hands, said, "Well, good luck at college." They both go off to college. 4 years. They both graduate from their respective universities, and they both start their careers. Now they both took the same courses. They got the same degrees, so they had like the same skill set. So they're in the same like business, right? But they both got jobs out of state, separate from each other. And they said about a decade went by, and they kept in communication via on the phone once in a
Mhm.
while. Life goes on, emails, whatever, chat, whatever. So there was this conference. It was a trade show where they both ran into each other because they were in the same fields from their respective schools, and that's what their careers were. And they're like, and they did not even know this, and they came across each other. Now, prior though to their meeting up, which was a great time, the one Bob had mentioned that he started having these about 6 months prior to this conference or this trade show.
Mhm.
This guy Bob started having these weird dreams about when he and his friend Jan were at the cemetery. And especially, it was kind of revolving around the very last visit. And his dreams were like, you should not have done what you were doing. It was, undisturbed. And that's this, that, and the other. And he was having these dreams. So, anyways, when they're both at this trade conference, Bob and Jen, they meet up and they hang out, and they went out to dinner one night, talk about, the past. And both of them, certainly after the first 20 minutes of hugging and hey, going over everything, they both kind of got quiet. And Bob says to Jan, "Yeah, this temperament we have between each other has kind of changed."
Mhm.
She goes, "Yeah, ever since I met you, there's something I wanted to tell you." And Bob says, "Me too." So Bob says, "I just got to tell you, Jan, I started dreaming about what we were doing at the cemetery, especially that last night when we both had that eerie feeling that we were doing something wrong." Jan says to Bob, "I've had the same dreams."
Wow.
Yeah, so now they have this connection. They've always had the connection.
Mhm.
All these family and friends have been tied at the hip for like 3 to 4 decades, all buried at the same cemetery. So they're like, they both kind of decided, let's go back and pay a visit to our old cemetery stomping grounds after
Wow.
all these years. They both took off time from work. They went on vacation, and they said, "Yeah, we're compelled. We need to do
Mhm.
this." They go back. They set up a time and date. They meet again. They go to the old stomping grounds, the old cemetery. And they had maybe 3 or 4 days off from work. So they went there the first night. And like most other times throughout their childhood, nothing came about. Second night, nothing came about. So it was their third and final night. And they had said, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I guess we have vivid imaginations. I don't know what it is. Let's just go hang out for a couple hours. When the sun
Mhm.
rises, let's go spend an hour. Let's get dinner because we have to get back. We're done with our vacation." They both agree on that. Now they both decide now, yeah, they get there and they're hanging out. Sun sets, and all of a sudden they see the same little images or little spiritual fog rolling around the cemetery like when they were younger, a decade prior. And they got that same feeling that they were not wanted there.
Wow.
But this time was more pronounced, but they could not put their finger on it. But now they felt like
Mhm.
dreadful. They felt something bad was going to happen. again, not communicated to, nothing, but they both got very chilled and they looked at each other. We got to split because this is worse than from the past.
Right.
And they both leave. They both leave. They both fly home to their respected homes and go back to work. And this is what they told me, or the guy, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
They get home. They're 2 weeks in. Bob was let go from his job. And Jan was let go from her job. And he was dreaming that he was going to be released from the job. And when he called his friend Jan, she had the same dream about being released. So that's the story. But my thing is, you guys, that is kind of odd. And I think there's some connection there somewhere. Now, I don't know what I can derive out of it. It's just a story that I remember from a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something in that cemetery, perhaps, you guys, that was mad at them for trying to conjure up
Maybe
the past, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I thought, I don't think, as we all talk about coincidences, there's no coincidence in this. Something at that cemetery graveyard had something to do with them losing their jobs and that bad negative voodoo they were getting.
That dream wasn't a dream. That was a premonition.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. But Krista, when we were talking about at the beginning of the show, talking about cemeteries, that sometimes it's not within the cemetery, it's on the outside.
Sure.
It's around the perimeter because it just kind of lurks there and waits for you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not wandering around. It is lurking and waiting. It's feeding on the sadness, the depression, the all of that stuff. So it's hiding and waiting. Yeah. And then I'm a true believer in when people project things. Mm-hmm. Because you can walk by a person and go, you just get all tensed up. You can feel what they're projecting when they don't even say a word. You can just feel it already. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if sometimes, as in spirits or other things out there, are projecting that, and you're catching that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like it's kind of like they're throwing it out there and it's sticking to you. It's affecting you.
It's kind of like when you walk through Walmart, people who are empaths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm wondering if sometimes that affects us at times. Yeah. But in this case, what you're talking about, that sounds like a definite premonition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like you, we all say that. We don't believe in coincidence. Something really happened.
No.
Yeah, and my thing is, I'll throw this at you two. I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was a cool story, and I thought that there was a connection somewhere. The only thing that novice in the paranormal, do you think that throughout those decades of all these folks, and they're all related or great friends throughout the years, do you think that there was something hidden or lurking about that didn't like what they were doing, trying to dig into the past outside of just the stories, and maybe that's just they decided just to be jerks about it?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, this certainly wasn't evil, but it certainly wasn't happy.
Right.
They lost their jobs, and they both had that premonition.
Right. And the fact that they both lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple weeks after that last incident and meeting up at this trade show.
Right.
So there's something there that was ticked off at them, I guess.
Yeah. Do you know anything about JD Smooth asked if you knew anything about the history on the graveyard they were at?
I'd have to look it up. It was 3 years ago, and I was just listening out back, and I remember the story in my mind. I know the exact states, and I actually know the graveyard, but I decided to come on and tell it the details. I could, if you're interested, I can get them to you for sure.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, really. I mean,
it is interesting. I would love to dig into that to find out exactly what was happening. I mean, could there be somebody out there that has a past that they may not want anyone to know, and they're afraid if somebody, pardon the pun, but digs enough, they're going to find it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Brent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And they just wanted to do something to stop them. I mean, what's the best way to stop somebody? Put the fear into them.
Mhm. It's true.
I don't know. Or
So
they
I just wanted to share that it kind of related, and I was
Well, I
kind of
appreciate you coming on sharing it. Yeah.
it does. It does. I mean, it makes you stop and think, and I would love to dig into that and find out exactly more.
I have to look it up because I know I definitely have it documented, the state, the cemetery, all that stuff. But again, I just did this from memory.
Yeah.
I remember most of it, but the details.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
It's good to
details of
remember
the
that.
cemetery. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I do have a question for you guys. So I've watched Ghost Brothers, and there's some guys that, they're black guys, and they go to haunted locations, and they're great. I mean, honestly, they're great. And they, had a TV show a while back, and the one brother, I think it's Juwan, he goes to like famous graves where people are buried. Like the one I recently watched was the O.J. Simpson.
He does do that. Yes.
Yeah. And he will run EVP sessions
By himself.
By himself. He'll say, did you kill your wife? And like he gets live answers. He gets answers. And here, my point being is we've been talking about all night, about our spirits are gone away from cemeteries, but yet Juwan goes out and he'll hit anything that has made, like he's went to movie stars' graves. He did Michael Jackson. He's done all kinds. And he gets EVPs. He records these guys. So here we are sitting there talking, they're gone, but why is he getting recordings of them?
Is he?
Well, it could be a trickster.
Yes. That, and that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is he?
But
And we've always talked about it being lurking on the outside.
Yeah.
We know you don't have to be right up next to somebody to hear an EVP. So is he getting that? Is he perhaps getting something else that is trying to persuade him to believe something else? Or, again, like she said, a trickster.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting, and just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts too, because like I said, we preach all night. That's just a vessel.
Yeah, it is. But we also said lost souls.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that. Okay, just to bring him O.J. Simpson. Maybe he,
he went to Cole Brown's grave too.
Yeah, maybe they feel like they don't have any place to go, like nobody wants them there, or that they don't have a happy place or anything. Maybe the end of their life overshadowed everything good that had happened in their life. Maybe, there's all kinds of circumstances, and we can't entirely be for sure until our day comes.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys know?
I don't trust that though.
Do you guys know, is O.J. Simpson buried or cremated? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think he was buried, because I'm about positive he went to O.J.
I'm wondering. I bet you there'd be some negative energy around his grave.
There's a lot of secrets.
That's what I mean. A lot of good information.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So Crystal said, "Wait, I did not know OJ died." Yes, he did, and I just
gosh, really?
April 10th of 2024, he did die.
So it makes me wonder. I mean, somebody like that could be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to get into
I gotcha.
religion.
I think he was a bad dude, though.
But maybe his purgatory is earthbound.
Maybe.
Maybe his purgatory is not being able to go to his favorite place, his happy place. Maybe he's forever bound to his body.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I like watching Juwan show.
I mean, wouldn't that be a horrible, horrible thing to be bound to your body after death?
Be awful.
Yes, that would be awful.
That's how ghosts are made.
That reminds me of this story. Now, I don't think this is true at all, you guys. I do not, but I just remember hearing this, and no one sent this to me. I just remember reading somewhere about this horrible, horrible person that committed all these terrible deeds, like in 1800s.
Mhm.
And it was a man, and they thought he was a warlock. And what they did is they put him in, supposedly that he was an immortal. So you could, if you killed him, he would come back to life or something. You couldn't really kill the person in so many lives. And they put him in this iron, I don't know, I guess it was like an iron body, like a knight, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he would throw him out and would drown in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Then he would die, but come back to life and die again. And it was repeated and repeated over for centuries. Now, I don't know how true that is. It's something I heard. I don't remember where I read this from. Can you imagine that?
No. I mean, especially when you're like, I just want it to end. I don't want to do. You can't leave it.
Yeah.
Yep. This is you know. We been talking about cemeteries and death all night.
Yeah, well, I tried.
It's the creepy people
Tonight, so we will do that.
Of people that we loved in the past, hundreds of friends, and we'd be hanging out. Hey, I'm gonna go check out the Blondes and Booze place tonight. I'm gonna go see my dad. I'm gonna go see Joe Blow from 90 years ago.
See, that's what's going to happen with me and Krista, because it's not, we're going to have a different podcast show and we're going to talk all about the living.
Yeah. I guess StreamYard's messing up, guys, because everybody's saying that their screens are freezing and we're not. So it's got to be StreamYard, everybody. And I apologize for StreamYard. So yeah, everybody's screens are freezing.
Yeah, it says we got 89 people in chat.
Yeah.
On my end. Pretty cool. Yeah, good show, girls. Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me share my little story.
Absolutely. Thank you for hopping on. And I want to thank Amy Creel, Sparky's Paranormal Outdoors, Kelly Sandiford, JD Smooth, and Larry Sharp. Thank you all very much.
Oh, and Kelly, I got to say this. Kelly always sends me super thanks as well. Mm-hmm. Kelly Sandiford from Canada's finest.
Oh, yep.
Canada, she's great. Kelly, I can't say thanks. So if you're still listening, thank you. You know that I love you. So thank you for that.
Everybody's going to have to rewatch the ending.
Yeah.
Well, she might be here.
Yes. Well, we appreciate each and every one of you. And tomorrow night, you've got Paranormal Paul, and you got Donny Cho, and you've got BMR. So.
Into the Bazaar with BMR.
Yeah. So you two on tomorrow?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Chris is also supposed to be Brandy and Monica and me.
Yes.
Okay. And I do have a great show in store for tomorrow.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, everybody, let's cut this off before mine's doing the same thing that I'm watching. So we'll talk to everybody later.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.